Hey, this is Stevie with Stevie Reacts. I am reviewing or reacting, I should say, to the latest premieres of Black Lightning and The Flash. Now, Black Lightning season 2 last year was fantastic. The Flash season 5, not so much. Honestly, I really didn't like it other than having the character Nora, their daughter, on there. That being said, what I can say about these two new season premieres is that they were awesome. In fact, I'll get to the Flash part that really just I I, I have to watch it again because it's just fucking awesome. But I'll start with Black Lightning. With Black Lightning, it was very nuanced and it really kind of brought in the social um, what's going on socially in our lives. And they've been doing that since day one. So I'm not surprised. They had metakids in cages, separated from their families. You have the heroes who are basically separated from each other. So, you have Black Lightning, the mom, and Thunder and Lightning separated from each other. Uh, Uncle Gamby, well, that's what they call him, but his name is Gamby, and they're all trying to make sure they can keep the peace while their parent, while Thunder and Lightning's parents are away. Anissa and wow, I actually forgot the youngest one's name. She's Lightning, by the way. So it goes into it delves into a really strong dynamic. Action was fantastic. They have great choreographers on there as far as these stunt scenes. They're doing a really good job with that. Um, the writing is still on par. I mean, every time I'm watching it, even when there are things that I didn't even think that would happen are happening, I was like, wow, okay, all right, you got me. So that's Black Lightning. I'm making this one short. Um, and that comes out on 9 o'clock on Mondays on the CW. So I will go further into. I'm not trying to give Black Lightning any diss, but I just want to make this one short. Now the other one is the Flash. Not a big fan of Flash season 5. The whole cicada thing and Cicada 2. Of all the villains, you brought in an actor that I thought could have been better, you know, and he did horrible. And then Cicada 2 did a little bit of a better job, but the whole story just sucked, in my opinion. So I'm not blaming it on anyone else. It's just the writing didn't really work, and you know the way that they kind of used the storyline with Nora didn't really work. It was like a mess. Um, well, actually, no. The storyline with Nora did work, and I wish that would have been more focused than just saying, "Oh, okay, she went to the only speedster that she ever, that she would ever know, which is what's his name, Reverse Flash in her timeline." So I get that, but other than that, it just I didn't really feel it, except for when they were talking about, started talking about Crisis. That was actually cool. But this season had me jumping up and down 5 minutes in, and there is a reference. I will say this: there's a reference to one of my favorite rock and roll bands, Queen, from the 70s and 80s and 90s, and to a show called Flash Gordon. That's all I'm giving you. It's amazing, and it was so hilarious too. Just to see our Iris's face is like, Cisco, really? So anyway, it seems like this particular timeline, the way that they're doing season 6, is really going to be a game changer. But I believe that we're going to get a second villain. I'm not going to tell you who the first villain is, but they were talking about that, how they're producing everything this particular year, because this year is going to be Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is based on the 1980s. I'm just going to say 1980s because I can't remember the exact date, but 1980s maxi series that was all throughout DC Comics. It was the one that changed everything, because they were getting very convoluted. So they came up with that. So the Monitor that we saw last year has a brother called the Anti-Monitor. So we're going to get more of that eventually. And that's what Crisis on Infinite Earths is about. So we'll see how they do this, because, let's see, this was the first episode, and I believe by December we'll go ahead and get the mid-season finale. Mid-season, so it's not the finale of the entire season, but we'll get the mid-season finale of most of them, and then next year we'll find out what happens. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. Just stay tight, because I think it's going to be a bumpy ride, between all these shows. And I will eventually get to Supergirl before Supergirl season 6, episode 2 gets on. I will get to that. But not yet, because I still have Supernatural, which Supernatural is the final season. So it makes more precedence, because I've been following that show since almost the beginning. Well, since season 3. I went back after season 3. But I've been following it ever since, and I could not believe that it's been 15 years now with that show. Anyway, this is Stevie Williams signing off.